Thus Spoke Zarathustra. By Friedrich Nietzsche. Part 1. Zarathustra comes down from the mountains. Zarathustra's decision. Zarathustra was a man who lived alone in the mountains for 10 years. He felt strong and peaceful in his solitude. He loved nature and the sun. One morning, he saw the sun rising and thought, "The sun gives its light to everyone. But if it always shines and never shares its wisdom, it becomes tired." Zarathustra realized he was like the sun. He had gathered wisdom over many years, but now he had to share it with people. He said goodbye to his cave and his animals, an eagle, strength, and a serpent, wisdom, and went down to the valley to teach people his new philosophy, the market and the tightrope walker. In a town called the Motley Cow, people were gathered in the marketplace to watch a tightrope walker, a performer who walks on a rope high above the ground. Zarathustra stood in front of the crowd and spoke loudly. Zarathustra's first teaching, the Übermensch. Zarathustra told the people, "Man is something that must be overcome. You have become comfortable and weak. The next step in evolution is the Übermensch, the overman, who creates his own values." People laughed. They did not understand. They thought Zarathustra was just trying to entertain them. He felt sad. He realized people were not ready to hear the truth. Then the tightrope walker began to perform. Suddenly, a jester, clown, ran behind him, made fun of him, and jumped over him. The tightrope walker lost his balance and fell. He was badly hurt and dying. Zarathustra stayed with him. The man said, "I knew I was risking my life. I am afraid. What happens after death?" Zarathustra replied, "There is no afterlife. There is no hell. You lived bravely. That is what matters." The man smiled. He felt comfort. He died peacefully. Zarathustra took his body and buried him. This was Zarathustra's first follower, a man who dared to live dangerously. Part 2. Zarathustra speaks to the people. Zarathustra continued his journey. He gave many speeches and told many stories. Here are some of the most important ones. 1. The 3 transformations of the spirit. Zarathustra said the human spirit changes in 3 stages. The camel. The camel says yes to everything. It carries heavy burdens. It follows rules and traditions. It says, "I will suffer, I will obey." But this is not enough. The lion. The camel becomes a lion. The lion says, "No." It fights the dragon called, "Thou shalt," you must. This dragon represents religion, laws, and tradition. But the lion cannot yet create something new. The child. Finally, the lion becomes a child. The child is innocent, creative, and joyful. The child says yes to life. The child can create new values, new goals, and a new world. Only the child can create a new beginning. 2. On the last man. Zarathustra warned about modern people who do not want challenge, greatness, or danger. They just want comfort. They say things like, "We invented happiness. We no longer love, we just enjoy. We no longer care about truth." Zarathustra called these people the last men. They are boring and shallow. They are the opposite of the Übermensch. They are safe, but not alive. He said, "The time of the most despicable man is coming, the one who can no longer despise himself." 3. On the flies of the marketplace. Zarathustra told people to avoid the flies of the market, people who gossip, lie, and hate. These are small-minded people who try to bring others down. He said, "If you go among them, wear armor. Your soul must be like a sword." 4. On the tree on the mountain. Zarathustra meets a young man who is sad. The young man wants to grow, but he is afraid. Zarathustra tells him the story of a tree that grows high on a cliff. It struggles. but it reaches the sun. He says, "You must be like the tree. Grow toward the light, even if it is hard." 5. On the preachers of death. Zarathustra criticizes people who talk only about death and sin. These people hate life. They teach others to be afraid. He says, "They are preachers of death, but I preach the overman, the one who loves life." 6. On war and warriors. Zarathustra says, "You must be ready for a spiritual war. Fight for your soul." He does not mean real war, but a battle inside yourself. Be strong. Be brave. Don't be soft like the last men. Part 3. The deepest teachings. Now Zarathustra is older and wiser. He returns to the mountains to be alone again, but he has visions and deeper thoughts. 1. The eternal return. Zarathustra imagines a demon who whispers to him, "What if you had to live your life over and over forever, exactly the same way?" At first, this idea feels like a curse, but then Zarathustra realizes, if I can love my life so much that I say yes to living it forever, then I am truly alive. This is called the eternal return. It means loving life so deeply that you want every moment again and again. 2. On the spirit of gravity. Zarathustra says that many people are too heavy, too serious. They carry guilt, fear, and sorrow. He says, become light, laugh, dance. Don't let the spirit of gravity pull you down. 3. On the vision and the riddle. Zarathustra has a dream. He sees a shepherd with a snake in his mouth. The shepherd bites the head off and is transformed. This means we must destroy what poisons us, old beliefs, fear, to become free. 4. On old and new tablets. Zarathustra says the old tablets, laws, are broken. We need new values. We should not follow laws out of fear or habit. He says, you shall become the one who gives law to yourself. Part 4. The return and the dance. Zarathustra goes down the mountain once more. He meets strange people who call themselves the higher men. But they are not truly great. They are still full of fear and weakness. Characters in Part 4. The old pope. He once served God, but now sees God is dead. The magician. He uses emotion and tricks to manipulate people. The two kings. They left their thrones, searching for something greater. The wanderer and shadow. A man and his own shadow. The ugliest man. He killed God because he could not bear God watching him. The wise man. He knows much but lacks courage. Zarathustra sees that none of them are Übermenschen. They still cling to old ideas. Zarathustra's animals return. Zarathustra's eagle and serpent return. They bring him joy. They remind him that even if people don't understand him, his ideas live on. The final message. Zarathustra hears a lion roaring. He feels that the Übermenschen